In a dramatic turn of events, the independence of the Federal Reserve is at risk of being severely undermined due to a contentious request from former President Donald Trump to terminate Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. According to her legal representatives, this situation is more than just a legal squabble. It poses a serious threat to the established autonomy of the Federal Reserve Board, and they are urging the Supreme Court to reject Trump's demand. Lisa Cook, who serves as a governor at the Federal Reserve and was appointed by President Joe Biden, found herself at the center of a heated controversy when Trump, in a recent motion, suggested that he should be allowed to fire her while her ongoing lawsuit contesting her dismissal is pending. The president's request represents an unprecedented assault on the long-standing independence of the Federal Reserve Board. Cook's attorneys asserted in a recent filing with the Supreme Court. Trump is pushing for the Supreme Court to override previous lower court rulings that currently prevent him from terminating Cook during the pendency of her legal challenge against her removal. The timing of Trump's decision to let Cook go is particularly important. He cited allegations of alleged mortgage fraud involving her claiming two properties as her primary residence, claims that Cook firmly denies. Those allegations focus on properties she owns in Michigan and Atlanta, and they came to light shortly after Trump had publicly criticized the Federal Reserve for not lowering interest rates as he had desired. In fact, just the previous week, the Federal Reserve did lower its benchmark overnight lending rate, a decision that Cook participated in. On the same day, a significant coalition of former Federal Reserve chairs, along with former Treasury secretaries and ex-chairs of the White House Council of Economic Advisers, publicly urged the Supreme Court to reject Trump's request to remove Cook. This intervention by notable figures in the economic sphere underlines the gravity of the situation and the widespread concern regarding the potential implications of Trump's actions. The Supreme Court has the authority to rule on Trump's request at any moment. Should the court agree to let him fire Cook, it could potentially allow for her reinstatement once they make a decision regarding the merits of her lawsuit. At the heart of the case is a critical question. Does Trump possess legitimate legal grounds for firing Cook as is required by the Federal Reserve Act? Cook's lawyers contend that Trump has made dubious claims, suggesting they are weak and unverified, revealed at a time that coincides with criticism of the Federal Reserve's policy decisions. They believe these allegations emerge after months of Trump's vocal dissatisfaction with the Fed's decisions on interest rates. Cook's team argues firmly that the legal principles established around the Federal Reserve's operational independence dictate that the president must provide valid reasoning for any dismissal, which in this context should not hinge upon questionable accusations from before he took office. The legal team expressed confidence that the Supreme Court will ultimately reject Trump's arguments, contending that as a Fed governor, Cook can only be removed for cause and is therefore entitled to a notice, an opportunity for a hearing, and judicial review before any potential termination occurs. In their statement, they reinforced that the safeguards placed by the Federal Reserve Act are intended to prevent any president from arbitrarily dismissing a governor based on groundless allegations. They highlighted the essential need for some level of accountability over the executive branch's capacity to dismiss governors, stating that without such checks, any president could unjustly remove a governor based on insufficient or fabricated charges. This is not the framework that Congress intended when it established protections for the Federal Reserve Board against presidential interference. As the situation unfolds, it raises a pertinent question about the balance of power and the safeguards necessary to ensure the integrity of independent institutions. What are your thoughts? Do you believe the independence of the Federal Reserve is under threat? Or do you find Trump's arguments to be justified? Let us know in the comments.